In this video, we're going to talk about how to teach the most important skill for drowning prevention. What I have discovered is that children get a false sense of security when they're in the water. And this happens in large part because every single time they're in the water, their parents are strapping on all of these flotation devices to them, whether it's on their arms or they have a vest. They're always floating when they get into the water, and they get this feeling like they can swim because every time they're in the water, they're able to swim without ever sinking. So it creates a false sense of security for them. First and foremost, I coach parents to take the child into the pool on a regular basis without any sort of flotation device. This helps the child to learn that if they don't have those things on, they're not going to be safe. Now, this seems like it might just be common sense, or like a child might just know that immediately. But especially our children with special needs, they may not notice the difference between when they have those floaty wings on and when they don't have them on. So it's important that we give them the opportunity to be into the pool without the flotation devices to start to understand the consequence of their movements. One other tip I like to give is to allow the child to feel the effect of their movement. Let them understand the consequences of the movements that they're making. When we're dealing with children with special needs on land, if they throw themselves back because they're having a tantrum, we have to catch them because we want to make sure they're safe. We don't want them to hit their head. And so sometimes these kids will learn that they can just throw themselves back and someone will catch them and they'll always be safe. The pool is such a wonderful environment to allow the child to feel the consequences of their movement, so that if they throw themselves back, they fall into the water. Now, of course, they're not going to drown. They might sink. It might be a little uncomfortable, but you're going to pick them up so quickly and put them back to the wall that they're going to be just fine. And that gives them that ability to start to learn, the wall is my safety. I need to hold on to it. That gives them the ability to learn that there is a consequence to their movement. Also, I like to teach the child that the wall is their safe spot. What kids tend to do if they start flailing around or panic is they look for an adult to rescue them. And the problem with that is, what happens if there's not an adult in the pool? What happens if they fall into the pool and there's nobody around? Especially for our children with special needs, we need to teach them that the wall is the safe spot, not the adult. We don't want to carry them around on our hip, transporting them through the pool. We want to teach them that the wall is how they transport themselves, so that if they were to have an accident and fall into the pool when no one else is around, they know, instead of panicking and looking for an adult, to go straight to that wall. And the way I teach them that the wall is their safe spot is every time they come off of the wall, let's say I have them on the wall and then they release and they sink. I pick them back up and I push them to the wall. And I teach them that that wall is what's going to keep them up, instead of picking them up and holding them towards me. Also, anytime we're out in the pool and we're practicing with swimming, I end it by pushing them to the wall and telling them, save yourself, because I want them to know that they can save themselves if they get into trouble. So when they are flailing around and help, I grab them and I push them to the wall and I say, save yourself, so that they start to learn that lesson. In summary, we want to teach kids that the wall is their safe spot, and we also want to help them to understand the consequences of their movements when they're in the water. I'll see you in the next video.